We almost spent $100 on this manga collection in Akihabara's book-off location, until we found out that this store, just 1 hour away, had the exact same collection for $40. Today, we're testing a controversial urban legend / tourist tip. The further you go from central Tokyo, the cheaper book-off becomes. And what we found at this small countryside book-off might just blow your mind. We're about to discover if spending 2 hours on trains can save you hundreds of dollars, or if you're just wasting your time. We'll check out the exact same items at each location to see if this legend is actually true. First up, Akihabara. Right in the heart of Otaku Central, always packed with tourists and supposedly the priciest of them all. Then Kichijoji, more outside the borders of where tourists typically shop and much more of a local favorite. Third stop, Tachikawa Super Bazaar, 30 kilometers from Tokyo, but still a major area. And finally, a tiny book-off lost in the western countryside is a 30-minute walk from the nearest station. Let's see if this urban legend is worth the hype. Starting off our journey in the manga section, we found the full set of Jujutsu Kaisen in 3 out of 4 of the book-off locations. In Akihabara, this set was going for about 93 US dollars, whereas Kichijoji had it for 60. And surprise, surprise, in our most remote store, it was priced at 39. Similar story for the 7 Deadly Sins set we found. In Akiba, you'll be paying $80, or you get the same thing for 68 bucks in Kichijoji, or a sweet $42 in the farthest location. We also found the Tokyo Revenger set in all 3 of these stores, priced at a whopping $95 in Akihabara, $60 in Kichijoji, and finally, $34 in our small West Side shop. Another popular find, My Hero Academia's set could have been bought for $105 in Akihabara, or with some time and patience, $68 at our countryside shop. So yeah, prices are pretty straightforward. Now, Akiba still has its strengths. Even though the variety of complete series isn't as big as you'd expect, it's the only place where we found Haikyuu in a full set. Plus, if you're looking for a specific single volume, Akiba is unbeatable. Kichijoji, on the other hand, feels a bit more relaxed and has slightly better prices. The catch? The selection can be random. Sometimes you'll stumble upon gems, other times empty shelves. Rare full collections, not really their thing. And then there's our farthest from central book-off. Low prices, a massive selection, and rare finds like Slam Dunk Perfect Edition, Gantz, or Oyasumi Punpun. This place is a hit for digging through shelves for rare editions. Moving on to games. Let's check out what we found here. For the PS1, we tracked down a copy of Dragon Quest VII in 3 of our stores, but we were pretty surprised at the price differences. In Akihabara, it would have cost us around $5, which is a pretty average price for this game. But both Kichijoji and Tachikawa were selling it for the same price, around $2. Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, a PS2 game, Akihabara had it for around $10, but compared to what you could get it for, $5 in Tachikawa, and only $3 in the farthest shop. Those looking for Pokemon games will often head to Book-Off to hunt, and we managed to find Pokemon Green for the Game Boy, $102 in both Kichijoji and Tachikawa, and $92 in the countryside. Other games we found were Biohazard 2, going for $31 in Akiba, but it was $18 in Kichijoji, $22 in Tachikawa, and $14 in the outskirts. Super Mario World in Akiba was about $28, but $17 in Tachikawa, and $16 if you're willing to travel far. Once again, Akihabara takes the top spot for being the most expensive. Although we will say none of the prices were outrageous or had a blatant amount of tourist tax. The variety? Honestly, not super impressive when it comes to PS1, PS2, or Dreamcast games. They do have quite a few Super Famicom titles, both boxed and loose, but the shelves are messy and a lot of the games aren't exactly in high demand. Kichijoji has more attractive prices, but the retro selection is tiny. The plus side? A solid lineup of PS2 and Wii titles, if that's your thing. Then we head to Tachikawa, and this place surprised us. Huge selection, much cheaper than Akihabara, and even a loose Sega Saturn, the only place we managed to find one. Prices are just a bit higher than the farthest location, but still some great deals. But again, we see that the further you go, the better it gets. Go a little deeper outside Tokyo and you'll find a massive selection of both retro and modern games, well organized, with prices averaging over 50% cheaper than Akihabara. A true treasure trove. Alright, so manga and games seem to be proving the theory right, but let's see if figures tell a different story. First up, this Bandai Grandista Prize of Law from One Piece went for $7 in Kichijoji's Book Off, a slightly better deal at around $6 in Tachikawa, and just a bit of a better deal the furthest away you go at $5 a pop for this figure. Another Bandai prize find, this time a Vibration Stars of Orochimaru, we didn't see in Akiba, but was in Kichijoji for $10, Tachikawa for $8, and $5 in the farthest location. From Bandai's King of Artists prize line, we saw this Gojo going for $15 in Akihabara, more expensive in Tachikawa, around $20, and only $6 in the countryside. This Albedo prize, a fairly new release, we only saw in 2 of the shops, but interestingly, they were priced exactly the same at $6 in Kichijoji and the farthest location. To round out the figure category, this fan favorite AMP Plus from Taito of Sakura Miku was only in stock at 2 locations, but with a hefty price difference. A wild $61 in Akihabara, but only $12 in Kichijoji. All in all, in the countryside shop, the prices are lower than in the other stores, but the selection is small and was heavily focused on One Piece figures. Not sure if it's a local quirk, but not much from less mainstream series. Over in Tachikawa, it's the complete opposite. A massive selection covering all kinds of series, including rare pieces and even scale figures. The downside, prices can sometimes be even higher than in Akihabara or Kichijoji, which is surprising. Kichijoji seems to hit the sweet spot. The selection is a bit random, but prices are consistently cheaper than Tachikawa and Akihabara, often matching the prices of the most out-of-the-way location. For budget-friendly finds across different series, this shop might be your best bet. And then there's Akihabara. Compared to the rest, it's not the best choice for figures. Small selection and prices up to 80% more compared to other book-off stores for the exact same figure. Next up, let's take a look at cards. Like you may have picked up on previously with manga, you'll notice that Tachikawa also doesn't carry cards. For Pokemon cards, we saw this Jolteon in Akihabara priced at $16 and similarly priced in both Kichijoji and the countryside for $14. This Mew X card was in Kichijoji's location for $10, and we also saw it in the countryside shop for slightly less at $8. We also found the Hilda 173 Pokemon card, a little pricey at $91 in Akiba and $68 in the farthest shop. For One Piece cards, this ace will cost you $11 in Kichijoji, and in the countryside, around $7. Even for more expensive cards like this one, Kichijoji is still priced higher than in the countryside. So the verdict here, Akihabara, not really worth it. The selection is teeny, basically only Pokemon cards, and the prices are way higher than anywhere else. Kichijoji, on the other hand, might just be one of the best book-off locations for cards. Tons of Pokemon cards, plus rare One Piece cards we couldn't find at all in the other shops. If you're looking for newly released or hard-to-find cards, this place is stacked. You'll almost certainly find what you're after. As for our small countryside shop, it shines with cheaper Pokemon cards, including rare first-generation cards we couldn't find anywhere else. The last category we checked out was vinyls. Any guesses to how these finds will play out? To sum it up, Tachikawa and Kichijoji are pretty evenly matched when it comes to vinyl. You can find records for under 500 yen, but it's all about patience, especially in Tachikawa, where everything is so tightly packed, it's a challenge to dig through. Akihabara doesn't stock vinyl records, but they do have an impressive selection of anime and video game music compilations that are hard to find elsewhere. Of course, the prices are on the higher side. The farthest countryside shop might not have as many budget-friendly options under 500 yen, but it's the only place where we managed to find highly sought-after records, like the ultra-popular Maria Takeuchi Variety from 1984. So after all that hunting and comparing, it's pretty safe to conclude that what they say is true for the most part. The further you go from central Tokyo, the cheaper Book Off becomes. But with every Book Off location, there's multiple things to consider. Akihabara might be the most famous, but it's also consistently the most expensive. It's great if you're hunting for that one specific manga volume or a rare anime soundtrack, but for most categories, the deals just aren't there. Kichijoji often lands in the sweet spot. Fair prices, solid variety, and some exclusive finds, especially for trading cards. It's the kind of place where you can pop in without overthinking and still leave happy. Tachikawa is great for variety. Wide selections, rare figures, unique retro games, but you might pay a bit more for certain items, and you'll need patience to dig through the shelves. And the smaller, isolated location we visited to really test this theory came out as a gem for bargains and rare finds. Whether it's box Super Famicom games, rare first-gen Pokemon cards, or iconic vinyl records, the prices here can be 50% to 80% cheaper than Akihabara. Next time you visit, try looking at a location a bit further out than what you're used to. You might be surprised at what you can find. Thanks so much for watching this video. We hope you guys enjoyed this experiment and that it helped you out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure to check out our other videos for more Tokyo area guides, figure news, and more. See you next time. Bye!